Gemini, welcome to a reading for you guys for March 2025. We are going to get a few oracle cards here for you and then a Celtic cross, kind of see what you guys have coming up for the month. If your sun is in Gemini, if your moon is in Gemini, if your sun is in Gemini, if your Venus, personal planets is in Gemini, or if you know a Gemini, welcome. This reading is for you. I'm really excited about these March readings. March is just going to pick up a little bit for us here during the year. It's been a little bit slow as I'm doing these readings here at the end of February. We have Mars, which has been retrograde in Cancer. That is a very slow, stuck kind of a Mars. It's a very slow, kind of unwilling motivation forward kind of energy. So that's stationing direct really as I speak. And on the 28th, we have a really beautiful alignment of planets, like a lot of planets. There's just going to be a lot of exciting kind of astrology happening that's going to push a lot of energy forward. And by push, I sort of mean allow a lot of that alignment to help us feel more motivated and just like, we're going in life. And I think for a lot of folks, even though it's been busy, a lot of experience has been really busy through the first part of this year. You might have felt like you haven't quite been getting where you want to go, even though you've been doing a lot, or, well, there's your card. Change. Speaking of change, it's actually a really beautiful one. You might have felt like even though the year has started off really busy, that there hasn't been a lot of movement forward. And I mean, just this card, right? Like eventually there's going to be direction. We'll just start in with your first oracle card here. Eventually there's really going to funnel into a positive, measured, structured way that all of this change is going to. But first, it's like before your room gets clean, all of the stuff has to come out of the closets and your sheets have to come off, and it's like a total mess first, right? So I feel like that's kind of what this first part of the year has been feeling like. What hasn't been working? What is working but doesn't feel good? Who do you kind of need to set some boundaries with? Who do you want to reach out to and cultivate more community? Have you been feeling sort of isolated? Maybe it's kind of a lot that's going on in your head or your internal world that's changing. There's a lot that we're like letting go of, but also being asked to bring in and to accept. And it's going to feel a little bit messy before it gets happier, before it gets more stable, Gemini. We're seeing the 24 here. The 2 and the 4 makes the 6. That's very feminine energy. That is exceptional feminine numbers. The 2, the 4, the 6, those are all feminine numbers, meaning the more that you relax, the more that you receive, the more that you can be calm through the chaos and the unknown, the more that you can attract, the more that you can just know your worth and know that in doing so, situations, people, places are going to come to you. You don't have to effort as much as you would in a masculine format. This change is all going to kind of work out for your benefit and better than you could have hoped if you'd planned it. Ooh, that's a good starting point. So let's go ahead and jump in here. We'll catch up. Judgment. Okay, amazing. So speaking of structure, speaking of what you are holding back from, creating boundaries with and bringing in, things that are dying or shifting out of your experience and things that like are newly formed, but you can't see the whole figure quite yet. The Judge is a card about discernment. So March is really going to challenge you, Gemini, or ask you to step forward and say, amid all of the chaos, once this kind of settles through, or even as you're sorting through things, what helps you feel good? What do you want to invite in? And what helps you feel kind of messy or complicated or unsure or like a bummer or bad? Then go ahead and set some boundaries around that. They can be more or less firm. You can kind of play around with it as things are kind of shuffling out here. And there could be some discomfort as things that might be familiar kind of shift out of your life. And there could be some real excitement or astonishment. I don't know how you feel looking at this thing. Sometimes when things are new or newly formed, or we have new opportunities that we haven't seen or felt or experienced before, they can feel kind of weird and we don't quite know what's going to happen. But look at this like yellow kind of green energy around here. There's new life, there's inspiration. That yellow is a color from our solar plexus as well. There's like empowerment coming in the new that you're going to bring forward. And only you're going to be able to say, Gemini, what feels really good to invite in and what feels really good to have clear boundaries with. So that's a really nice pair. It's like inviting you to just clean out the room, clean out the house, clean out the relationship, like put everything out, just be the mess, because you are guaranteed real opportunity and real solidity at the end with the discernment you'll have going through the process. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, self-heal, ripple outward. Love this card, and I think it's come up for another reading. So if you were watching other videos for your sun, moon, rising, Venus signs, and you see ripple or self-heal, know that this is like a double down message for you, that the farther you go into your being, the farther you go into self-healing, the farther you go into claiming who you are, despite the the hardship that it might feel on the outside, the greater your influence is going to be and the farther you can ripple out. This is a really self-soothing kind of a card, and it's also encouraging you. It's like giving you the message that as you do so through the month, you will be supported, you will be held, you will be comforted through that process. So there's a real dropping in, and oftentimes this feels really unknown and can be really scary. We might feel things that we haven't felt for a while, especially for you, Gemini, as a sign, as an archetype. You like to be sort of surface level in the best way. You like to be on top of the water. You like to be figuring things out. You like to be talking about things. You want to be all over the map, not like deeply in one place. So this could be especially uncomfortable for you, but know that if you are faced with opportunities to deepen or lean in or discover or feel feelings through March, it is absolutely for your best benefit, and it's going to give you far more of a reach that is your absolute playground and most favorite feel-good place to be after that. Okay, what is your last card here? Trust the process. Really beautiful. I feel like enough said. It just kind of ties everything that we've been talking about in a bow. And especially like, hair's down here and hair is down upside down. If you have long hair, you kind of know, which I do, that sometimes it can be like, oh my God, it's like just having its own day today. I'm just like not even gonna worry about it. It can be messy unless we take the time to like straighten it or comb it or brush it and wash it. It takes like energy to do all of that. So this image, especially with the hair down upside down, is like, let it go. Trust that it's doing its own thing and it's totally fine. The eyes are closed here, meaning we're not logicking our way through, we're not thinking our way through, which again, for you, Gemini, as a sign, as an archetype, might be a challenge this month. So as you're going through changes, as you're going through times or experiences that might feel a little bit challenging to you, if it's about change, if it's about being asked to sit with your feelings or to even express your feelings, have conversations about your feelings, if you're being asked to engage in any kind of healing conversation, maybe this is about a relationship, someone in a relationship is asking you to engage in like repair work or just like a deeper communication, really take that opportunity this month, Gemini. It's going to serve you so well to just lean in, even if it feels uncomfortable. And maybe it feels great to you. I'm not saying it's going to feel uncomfortable for you. I'm just saying, Gemini as a sign likes to be like, okay, great, but like, let's talk about the party last night. My Venus is in Gemini, so I can say that. All right, Gemini, let's see what your central energy feels and looks like for the month of March. Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, beautiful. With the Knight of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so the Nine of Cups in reverse is kind of not getting what you want. There might feel like a lot of disappointment here. There might feel like you were really wishing for something you didn't get. And this is going to help or hold you back from this energy, moving through this energy, working with this energy. If we're ever really hoping for something, the Nine of Cups is our wishes fulfilled. If we're ever hoping for something like if you bid on a house, or if you really wanted a pony, or, you know, if you really wanted a particular relationship, or if you really wanted your relationship to go in a direction and something fell through, it didn't work out, it is always the universe redirecting you to your best, most advantageous place to be. So know that whatever you didn't get through March, or if you are kind of facing whatever you didn't work out for you through the month of March, know that like it's exactly where you're supposed to be. If you didn't get that house, think about the positives, right? Even if it was like you thought it was your dream house, maybe the roof is going to fall off in a year or something. You know, I don't know. Like, I would never wish something bad on other people, of course, but maybe there are unforeseen things that you couldn't think of or see that were prohibitive for that happening for you. And Spirit, you, the universe, God, is really holding you in your best light for what's best for you. So you could feel disappointed about this, or you might not. If it's something you've really wished for, that often comes with some disappointment when you don't get it. But, you know, you could be really practiced at being like, okay, great. I know that the universe is holding me to the best place that I need to be. The Knight of Swords right on top. This could be someone really fighting for you, or kind of like fighting against you, Gemini, right? Like the Knight of Swords is, he's not taking no for an answer. He or she is just relentless with their communication, with making sure you understand something, with coming at you, with like, you know, they are just not going to stand down. The Knight of Swords has so many ideas, so many revelations, so many things they want to say and implement and do, but they don't have a lot of like maturity yet when it comes to like holding back or like letting other people talk, or, you know, so this could absolutely be someone, this is your crossing energy this month, and it doesn't really matter which way that it goes. We're just talking about both sides of this. The light and the dark side of this card is like, this could really support you if you are feeling really disappointed and your good friends are sticking up for you, or someone, a coworker, is like really helping you create good boundaries at work so you can go take an extra long lunch break, or, you know, it's that kind of a vibe with the Knight of Swords, someone who's going to stand up for you and say that, you know, what you need for you, in a way, is one vibe that I'm getting. But it could also be conflict against you. It could be that, you know, with the Nine of Swords, there's something, a wish that you're not getting, and this could look like inner voices telling you you didn't deserve it, or I wasn't good enough, or that relationship fell through and, you know, I'm devastated, and why should I could have had that person, all of those things, right? So be very careful what your inner track is saying, and we'll look at this card next to kind of get a sense of that. But this is going to either help or hold you back. So you get to choose, Gemini, this month. Lean into folks or people or situations that are encouraging of you, that are standing up for you, that are fighting for you, and work with or hold back, be a barrier for yourself for any inner voices that are harmful for you, or any people that are being unkind or shouldn't be in your space, because we have no patience. Well, it's not like we don't have any patience for that, but like, we can set good boundaries. It's going to be a month for you to discern what you want to let in and what you want to have boundaries around. Okay, another example, I'm just, you know, like, a friend of mine just went through this, and we don't talk about this enough, so hopefully this isn't your case, but, you know, a friend of mine just went through a miscarriage, and like a lot of people, it was really disappointing, and she's fine, she's working through it just fine, but a lot of people wanted to be there for her, or had a lot of opinions around, you know, how to support her and all of this. There's just like so much chatter happening. And so she's in this place of like discerning, what do I let in, and what kind of support do I let in, and how do I really want to shape my world and my community right now as I go through this process of disappointment that's happening for the greater good in her circumstance. And I get to say how that goes, right? And she gets to say how her inner voice sounds and who the people around her are that she lets in for support. Okay, what's happening in your foundation here? The Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, so there's really kind of a sense of, I want to say defeat, but the Five of Wands in reverse is just like an inability or an unwillingness to engage in conflict. And Five of Wands can be a conflict that is helpful. It's like going to the gym. The Five of Wands is a card about training and conflict to be able to overcome things later, right? The Six of Wands is then victory. And you don't get to victory, you don't get the six pack, you don't get the strength, even if it's not a six pack, if you don't go to the gym or if you don't do strength training. You don't get to be like a world-class skier if you don't fall down on the slopes a whole bunch, right? The falling on the slopes is a whole bunch is the Five of Wands, the training of it, and the world-class skier is the Six of Wands, the next step once you've gone through the training. So here in this position in your subconscious, Gemini, is there a feeling of defeat here? Is there a feeling of being unwilling to kind of engage in something? Have you been feeling really like put down, or like, let's get a clarifier for this. When I see the Five of Swords in reverse, it's so often a success of stepping away from conflict. Five of Swords is really, it's a tough energy. There's not like a winning person on the horizon there. But the Five of Swords can be really helpful to lean into. So when we see it in reverse, it's like there's some kind of an inner monologue maybe. Okay, let's just get a clarifier for the Five of Wands here. What would be helpful for Gemini to know for this energy here? The Five of Wands, King of Swords. Okay, so you've lost confidence in the way that you see yourself as someone who can plan or think through or create a system or structure, or again, there's someone else in your life who is overbearing in this way that I feel like is not allowing you to really step forward, or that's making you a victim, that you are feeling like you can't be your full self or step into life with this energy here, right? So with this disappointment card, something could have gone awry or is just something that you didn't expect through March. And there's going to be a lot of change around it. You have to trust the process. The deeper you heal, the farther you're going to go. It's a really fabulous, it's going to be a great month for you. We saw this right away with like the huge change card, and all of this chaos followed immediately by like all this gorgeous structure and moving forward with being able to discern exactly what you want and don't want. But this card in the subconscious really says that maybe you're tired, like you didn't want to engage in something. And this could have been because someone was overbearing about how something should have gone, or you have something in your head that tells you you're not good enough. You've lost confidence in being the King of Swords, who is a master at logic, who he lives above the fray of emotion. He doesn't engage in a lot of like emotional battles because he can just see his way forward. He is crystal clear. He knows what has to happen. He knows how to like, architect his way through building his life and the lives of other people. He helps other people with that same sentiment. So it's gonna be really important for you this month, Gemini. This is you. This is you coming forward. So you're either taking a break from kind of engaging right now in things that feel hard, or you've kind of let yourself, you're being hard on yourself. I'm getting it's like one or the other, or they're different camps, or like maybe you're vacillating, feeling like you just have like lost this sense of confidence in being this character, or there's someone in your life that's really like overpowering you in this sense that you've let kind of take over. Let me see what else is going on. What are you manifesting? Okay. This is you really focused on bringing into your life this month, and this is justice in reverse. We'll get a clarifier for this, but this is like, oh gosh, this is really wanting, oh, sorry, I bumped the camera. This is really wanting things to work out like way better than you know that they can, or than you think they can. This is like, okay, great. I didn't get my favorite ice cream flavor. I'm just going to try and like make a really silly example. I didn't get a favorite ice cream flavor. My friend is telling off the ice cream scooper person that they should have had my favorite flavor because they know it's my favorite flavor. And you know what? I really want them to carry only that flavor for the rest of the month. Like, you know what? They can make this right by only carrying chocolate chip. It's something like that, right? Where it's like justice in reverse is a inverse, it's an inverse way of making things right. The justice card balances the scales. So when it's in upright, we usually say, okay, great. If you are having a time of like contracts, if you have to sign something, if you're going through a legal battle, this can usually mean it's going to work out well for you. There's a real sense of like correctness, rightness that doesn't have to do with like emotional baggage. There's a higher sense of purpose and a real righting of the scales with justice. What is just? And it's coming forward as being implemented. When it's in reverse, it's like sometimes that falls through. Like it can be a good time to suggest maybe like not signing for the house or waiting on contracts through the month of March. This is not legal advice, obviously, but sometimes it's just really wanting something that's like more than what we're putting in. What's the example that I've given before? Like if you're in a school project, right, and you have to like get a paper out with 5 other people, that can be challenging. Maybe you're the person that didn't do any work, but you're in the group that did fabulously, and so you got an A. That's justice in reverse. You didn't put much in, but you got a lot out. And conversely, maybe you're the person that like joined the group where you're doing all of the work and the group doesn't do anything and you fail. But that's justice in reverse as well. So let's get a clarifier card for this for you, Gemini. There we go. And see what's going on for you around bringing this in. Yes, exactly. It's exactly like, I know it was a silly like example about the ice cream scoop, but you're really so wanting, you are pulling in victory despite your losses. Excuse me. You are going to succeed. You are claiming, you are manifesting this month success, even if it doesn't feel like just, and that doesn't mean it's not right? Like sometimes like life just happens unevenly, but you are so focused on getting back what was lost for you, Gemini. And I just want you to really settle in if that's from a healed place or if that's from like a revenge place. It could go either way with the cards that are on the board. So if you've been feeling really like put back, held down, there are ways that we can overdo after the fact, like instead of just being able to say, thank you for your opinion, I'm going to do me. We can say, okay, great, we're a pushover. We let someone else like kind of run things for a while. I have been guilty of this so often. And then later we kind of blow up and say, actually, I'm doing it my way times 1,000%. And I never want to talk to you again, right? Like that's kind of an extreme example. But it's a little bit of what this could feel like. So I really encourage you, Gemini, through the month to step by step, really feel what you're feeling, really heal, go inward instead of taking the action against or perpetuated by a disappointment. Instead of saying that thing, instead of doing that thing, first of all, just feel your feelings, come into yourself, talk to someone you trust first before you engage in anything that's going to like perpetuate conflict. Or I'm really encouraging you to like set boundaries this month through March, but not out of like chopping down the whole forest, right? Just when you need one tree. You're going to have to really like say how high the fire hydrant is open when it comes to your communication and setting boundaries. It's going to be a fascinating month for you guys. I'm really excited to see how it goes. What happened in the recent past here? King of Wands in reverse and 7 of Cups. Okay. So here's your timeline. Something in the recent past could have felt, again, just like this overbearing energy. The King of Wands at the lower end of the spectrum, right? Like these characters have a spectrum of the behavior that they can operate on. King of Wands is like an exceptionally fiery, magnetic leader. He is creative. He knows he's passionate. He knows how to like motivate a crowd. So something in the recent past here, there's some kind of a person, some kind of an instance where that could have been overbearing. Maybe you got kind of like run over with ideas or at work. Again, like weren't heard or didn't feel empowered in some way here. It could also be a character who like maybe passed away, some kind of a loss here around leadership or magnanimity or vitality, creativity. Oh my gosh, 9 of Cups. And the 2 of Wands. Okay, great. So whatever happened here, this kind of like, maybe it was like a change in leadership, really brought you to something that you really wanted and left you with more opportunities. And that tracks then, because as you're moving forward, there's the 7 of Cups with so many options available to you. So something here in the recent past was a loss or a retraction or slowing down of something that happened, particularly like in leadership, whether that's in family or professional. And it was something that you were really hoping for. So maybe this was a boss that was overbearing. And just didn't let you say what you wanted or needed or wasn't supportive. And it was exactly what you wanted that they stepped down from the position, and it's opening up maybe that position for you or other opportunities. Like, or maybe the boss didn't leave at all, but you're getting what you want by leaving that job and getting another one. And you have a whole new plethora of like change at your fingertips, which is going to lead you to the 7 of Cups here coming up in the future, which is gorgeous, Gemini, especially with this 9 of Cups in reverse, right? This disappointment or something that like shifted for you this month. The 7 of Cups says, don't even worry about it because you are going to have so many options. This is also a card about dreaming. So the advice or the encouragement with the 7 of Cups is to choose. You can only stay in fantasy land or daydreaming about your choices for so long. But while you're there, consider all of your options. You're going to have like, you know, all kinds of different options, especially if this is about relationship at all, it's going to be especially about relationships. So if for whatever reason, like this is about a breakup, maybe something like maybe you went through a breakup, or maybe you were like trying to get a relationship going and it didn't really work out, and there's a lot of defense about it, or you are really fighting your way forward into feeling better and health. I'm so sorry. I have a frog in my throat. The 7 of Cups here says, don't even worry about it. You are going to be overflowing with new options, new people, new exciting like options. Oops, there you go. Ooh, Gemini, I love that for you. And the 5 of Wands, you're going to fight for him. You are ready. I'm glad to see that because I felt worried for you, Gemini, with this 5 of Wands down here. I was like, don't give up, honey. There's just really this feeling of like defeat, like self-defeat. Like, I don't even want to get up and like try skiing. I don't even want to get up and like try something fun. 5 of Wands, there's lots of opportunities coming for you, and you get it back. You get your mojo back. You are ready to like jump in and like put in your application for that job, even if there's 15 other people that want it, or let that person know that you like them, even though they are like the most beautiful person in the room and have 17 different offers, or you're ready to fight for that house, even though you just had like 17 different offers rejected. I don't know why I keep saying 17, but there you go. So stick with this. There's a lot of change coming. You get to have the options, and you're going to pick up some energy, which is why I've been excited about these readings for March, because it really has been feeling like stuck. It really has been feeling like, oh, I'm trying to do this. Like the first few months of the year have been feeling like we've been efforting a lot and thinking our way through a lot, and it just like hasn't been able to like work out. So I get it, Gemini. If you're feeling like this, if you're resonating with this reading, I just feel you so hard, and it's shifting, it's moving. That's why I'm so excited about March and like these readings and the energy that's coming. Okay, Gemini, how are you feeling? Well, there you go. Really beautiful. So you're feeling good. You're also feeling like you're ready to make a choice. The Lovers is obviously a card about relationships and finding a perfect match for yourself, but it's also about choosing. This is your card, Gemini. This is your card. So I'm actually not worried about you at all. You are so perfectly in alignment with this process. This card in this position just tells me that like, while you might be feeling discomfort, you are fully in alignment with the change that is happening right now, Gemini. Ooh, it's giving me chills. It's like very powerful. It's like, yeah, I went through some disappointment. I'm going through some tough times. Like maybe I'm feeling my way through something, but don't even worry about it. I know this is exactly where I need to be. I know who I want to choose. I know what I want to choose. And even if I don't know exactly what or who it is, I know that the choice is powerful and it's mine. It's really beautiful. So lean into this. You're also very clear that like, if this is about relationship, you've got it going on. You're like, don't even worry about it. I'm claiming mine. I'm really committed to partnership. So if this is about relationship that you're already in, you are choosing love. And the option that you're choosing in the future is choosing love, not fear. That is the choice you have with the Lovers card. Okay, great. You got like fired from your job, or you want to transition from your job. Are you going to take one like, half the salary just because you're scared and you hate the job? Or are you going to wait it out and trust that like something better is going to come? Maybe that's not the best example, but you know what I mean? It's like making choices from love, not fear. Oh, beautiful, 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 Gemini. So stoked for you. Okay, people, I just don't even have to clarify. People, places, things. What's your environment looking like? The 7 of Wands in reverse. Again, I feel like more victory. This is people just standing down for you. Like, right? The 7 of Wands is a card about defending yourself, standing up for like what's yours, what you've built. Like you're on the hill, you're fighting for your place on top of the hill. And this is people, places, and things that like are not going to be doing that for you. Gemini, I feel like if you are going to battle for yourself here, or if someone is going to battle for you on behalf of you, of what didn't work out, on what on like writing the justice here, you're going to win. And people around you, people, circumstances are going to defer to what you want or what you need. Again, I just don't even think like I need to clarify that. That's really beautiful. This card kind of tells me, how much do I lean into my community? How much can I really trust that things are working out around me that I don't have control over this month? And this just tells me, Gemini, that the more you blaze through, the more you interact with your outer world this month, you're just gonna have a lot of ease. You're gonna have people saying like, oh, did you want the keys to my castle? Here you go, right? Like you won't have the defense on the other side, making it hard for you to get what you ask for. So ask away, trust the process. I'm just like noticing that trust over there. What are your deepest fears and hopes for this month? The Emperor. This makes a lot of sense. The Emperor is the 4 kings combined. He is power itself. He is the seat of power, and knowing how to wield that when he's upside down, it can be maybe an abuse of power or that overpowering feeling. And again, coming from some kind of situation here where, and you might have been feeling empowered, I'm disempowered. I'm getting the sense that like there's a real feeling of like, okay, but like what do I do? I'm under the thumb of this, or I can't get out of this. And I'm feeling like I can't like move because of these powerful people around me. This is your greatest hope this month, that they all just like get out of your way, that they are just eliminated, that you don't have this vibe of being under the thumb of someone else, that you can like really actively move and shift and choose your own life and choices. Let me go ahead and just get a clarifier for the Emperor card in reverse. What would be really helpful for Gemini to know about the Emperor in reverse there as their greatest wish and hope for the month of March? What would be helpful for a Gemini to know about the Emperor? We'll do one more and then we'll choose one. There we go. Oh, the Queen of Cups. Really beautiful. I mean, it just doubles down on that message. You're so excited for a shift in energy. It's like this real shift from this masculine way of doing things and how that might not have been working for you. Masculine meaning like very measured, very logic, very like, okay, get here at 8. I don't care if you have to drop your kids off at like 8:15. There's like rigidity in the masculine way of doing things. It provides a structure, but it can also be rigid. And what I'm seeing here from your reading is that that's just like not the vibe, or it's been a harsh vibe for you to deal with. You are so excited to bring in and experience like this loving, tender care. And it doesn't matter about gender, but it is about this feminine energy of love, of acceptance, of nurturing, of being seen and being held, and like having your needs anticipated and being wrapped in a warm cloak of love and care and just like empathy, that deep, deep empathy. So you've got it. I just feel like you've got it. You've got it this month, Gemini. You are overcoming everything that you want. It's really cool. Okay, what is this last card here to wrap everything up? Judgment in reverse. Okay, great. So we're going to get a clarifier for this. Judgment in reverse is like, it's actually great. It's a card about rebirth, coming back from things. So when I've seen this like before in a relationship reading, actually I did one recently for a friend of mine who was like kind of going through a breakup, and she's like, well, will we get back again? Judgment in reverse. No, you will not. There will not be a second chance. There will not be a reviving of this relationship. But what I'm feeling is the victory off of this card for you, Gemini, in the closure. right? So Judgment in reverse says, whatever this is, it's not coming back around. Whatever this is that you were hoping for, there's not going to be like a second chance or a revival. And if that is about a relationship for you, Gemini, I hope that that is so comforting. Like sometimes when we go through a breakup, it can be like, oh no, did I make the right decision? Should we try again? Was that the right thing? No. Tarot is telling you that like it was broke for a reason, even if they were the loveliest, most amazing person in the whole world. And there is so much coming up for you outside of whatever circumstance this is. So if it's not a breakup, if it's, work, if it's life, like whatever area of life it's in for you, there is so much to celebrate. There's so much to celebrate. I'm just getting the absolute celebration off of this card in the closure, in the shutting down, in the moving on. And maybe that meant that there were a lot of different pieces that you had to go back and forth on for a while. And this is the World in reverse. So there's going to also be a few pieces for you that you need to like continue to work on or collect before you close this circle. The circle isn't totally closed yet. The World is all about like success and closure and graduating from a project. So even though it's not coming back, the World in reverse to me in this instance just kind of means like there are still lessons to learn from that you need to tidy up before you feel totally closed and successful. But the World card is here on the board. It is graduation. It is learning all of the lessons. It is integrating all of those. So when we see it in reverse, sometimes it's like, okay, great. I just need to make sure that I'm really tending to myself and not avoiding feeling like the pain of it, right? Oops. When we don't allow ourselves to deeply feel a situation or an experience that can be harmful, we end up repeating it later, right? So this is your little warning that says, Gemini, don't skim over the surface of whatever this is. Feel it deeply. Do the healing. Trust the process. Go in deep. And know that that transformation is going to take you to so much better, exciting, so many more options, and that you're having massive victory in the outcome. I'm really excited for you, Gemini. It's like just massive overcoming. So enjoy March. Can't wait to hear how it goes for you.